Hello and welcome to today's Health and Sanity show. And this is Dr. Joe. I'm a professional speaker who helps busy people stay healthy, sane, and productive. And if you've been with us for almost 6 weeks now of these calls, you know we've been focusing a lot on the sanity piece, how to stay a little bit more balanced, less stressed, so we don't worry about all of this, how we kind of pull it all together, how to stay more positive. You also remember that, I started off with the serenity prayer, let's say, and letting people know that there's so much that we can't do, but these calls are focusing on the things we do have the power to change. And so since we've been talking a lot about managing our stress, I thought it was about time to get going, to start making some changes in our life, to use this time to do something different, to do something better. And what better guest than David Blake to kick us off? David Blake wears so many hats. I'm going to read some things about him because I can't remember it all. He is a national experiential speaker, a certified advanced innovation and creativity trainer, and an explorer and master level scuba diver. And in his resume, he does everything. He's been in TV and movies, and he's done so much. He has a DJ company that's been in the business for, I think, about 20 years. He'll correct me if I'm wrong with that. But he's also a professional speaker like myself, also in the same chapter as me. So he's launching something new, for him anyway. It's a 21-day challenge. And I invited him to come on the show to share why he's doing this challenge, where he is in this challenge, and how he can, how other people can get involved in it. So first of all, welcome, David.
Well, fantastic. And thank you, Dr. Joe. I'm thrilled to be here. I've been loving the program because it adds so much to our daily lives. Before all this nonsense happened, we needed more sanity, more happy, more healthy, and this couldn't have come at a better time. So you mentioned the 21-day challenge. That's why I started it right now for multiple reasons. A, we needed a little more healthy and happy. And B, we've got time to invest in ourselves, to try new things, to utilize some of this new life to go after things that we've been wanting to do. So I put myself up as an example and invited everyone else to go after their challenge. So my challenge is health related. Yours may be career, it could be family, relationships, health. Maybe you want more health for yourself or to learn to cook. But we keep putting things off for, I wish I had time. Well, if I only had time, or
maybe even like a stumbling block, like if I need more money or I need more support to do all that. I mean, we have a long list of excuses, don't we, as to why we can't do whatever it is.
And this particular time opens a lot of those doors. Most of us, even if we're still working, but working from home, we now have that travel time back. We now have that extra moments when maybe we can take our full lunch break. You're not getting the kids ready for school and all of those other things. So let's use that time for ourselves and start creating the new you, the new life that you want when all this is over. And a lot of people, for example, I'm in several associations, meeting planners and others, and many of them are using this time and this challenge to create the new normal, create the new what's next. Obviously, things are going to change in every industry, but we've also, for years, all of us say in the back of our minds, and many out loud, well, if it was up to me, I'd. Well, my idea for that, but nobody's listening. Take this 21 days, because we don't know when this time frame is going to change, when we're going to go back to the normalcy that we had. So block out a period of time. For me, it's 21 days and it works. Create those ideas, that new device for work, that new strategic plan, the personal goal that you've put off. So for me, the 21-day challenge, as I mentioned, is health. 6 years ago, I was poisoned after slipping on the ice. I broke my ankle. And when I went in for surgery, I was poisoned by a tainted recall drug, which left me unable to even hold myself up. I couldn't walk. I lost a lot of my speech. And it took all of my normalcy away. So for the second time in a couple of years, we had the crash in '08, which changed our lives. I had this that happened. And in that, I started learning new ways of doing things, new me. Things I had put off, I started seeing. All of that has come together as I rebuilt who I was to this point, where I was still hoping I could walk faster, walk smoother, get up from an exercise off the ground faster and with more pep, things like that. But all of those things take serious physical and brain therapy. And it needs day after day, which when I'm traveling and meeting clients and up on stage, it's hard to fit that in.
Hey, David, can I interrupt you?
Sure.
How long were you in a state of, I can't work any longer, that type of condition? You know, I know you went through some therapy and you got to a more manageable stage, not where you wanted to be, but how long were you completely disabled?
I would say out of workable condition for a couple of years.
Oh my.
I did go to events, but it was more in overseeing them, more so than being the personality, being
Right.
the main stage. And even doing that, I did it often from a wheelchair.
Oh, I see.
And then once I was able to do more, stand up for longer, go further distances, speak better, then I started taking the stage more in short bursts. So with that, I got better. I'm standing on my own with a lot of pep. I'm back on the stage. Last year, I did over 200 presentations. But there were still things I wanted to change. But when do you have the time? You can't do it in a hotel. Some of these, as I mentioned, the brain therapy and the physical, they exhaust you. Plus, you need to do it day after day. So it's hard to go through the process and then have that energy to run out on stage and present. So right now is the perfect time. I'm in charge of my schedule, so I can work around online meetings, podcasts, creating my next program. So I invite everyone else to join me and create what's next for them.
So David, you've got a lot of things on your list.
I do.
Yes, yes. So what exactly do you have in your 21-day plan? What exactly are you trying to accomplish? And more importantly, I think we want to get into the steps before we run out of time. Like what does day 1 look like? What does day 2 look like? What day are you on?
Well, I'm on day 5, and it's been up and down, which is part of what I'm trying to show people. It's not easy to change things, but it's productive. It's beneficial. You win in the end. Les Brown says, there are reasons and there are results. So I want reasons, or results rather, and I'm noticing how many reasons I put out there. So for everyone else, what reasons have gotten in your way as to why you haven't done that thing you've put off? So step number 1, what is it you want to change? What is it you would like to make better? Decide on that first. Those items that you've put off, mark at the top, if I only had the time, I'd. And then just start scratching out things you would like to do. Well, now we have the time. And if you still don't feel like doing number 3, cross it off because it's unrealistic. We're not really going to get to it.
Can we also add in there, not necessarily things that other people want us to do, but things that we truly, truly want to do?
Yes.
Because sometimes that should list can get pretty long, right?
Exactly. So leave the judgment aside. We judge ourselves hard enough. So as you just mentioned, other people's thoughts, that judgment sways what we want to do. And we think we need to please them. And in reality, we're not being our true selves. And if it's money related, if it's location because we're quarantined and you can't get to that destination, we'll put that off for later. But if it's time related, use this time. Get up in the morning, get dressed like you normally would, get up at the time you would leave for work, and use that time for you. For me, because my schedule is somewhat under my control, I can put meetings off till late in the day and use my energy in the morning time. And then if I need a break, I've still got time till I meet with a client.
Actually, I liked your idea of thinking about the previous commuting time as now the time you can dedicate to this goal of yours.
Exactly. So a lot of people have contacted me and said, you know what, I've always wanted to learn to cook, but by the time I get home, I don't want to start. I don't want to create something new. Use this time. Use that commute time to learn 5 new recipes. And then when you go back to your schedule, it's easy. You've got the flow, you know how the process works, and you can make your shortcuts.
So we've just got a couple minutes left of the show. Why don't you share with us, you said you're on day 5. Tell me what you've done each of those 5 days and how it's gone.
All right. So I started out, day 1 was hard. I had a 3-hour meeting I couldn't change.
Wait a minute, this is sounding like reasons.
It is, but that's what I'm getting to. So I had to alter my day right off the bat. Then it was raining, so I couldn't get out and do my walk that I had planned. So I got on the bike. I did the other exercises, and I felt better than I have in months just by starting it. That feeling of accomplishment, knowing that others were supporting me through it. So day 2, I added in the walk, which was there are 5 things that I'm trying to change physically in that 21 days. So one of them is walking further and faster than I currently do. So I had to find out, how far can I comfortably go? So that ended up being day 2. It exhausted me, got me to thinking, what am I doing here? But again, I felt accomplished and I set my marker. Well, in the last couple of days since then, I've noticed my speed is already increasing. My gait, or the distance I step, is increasing because I'm able to combine all of the other elements at the same time, and putting that together. Now, as I said, it hasn't been easy. Yesterday was a hard day. I got through everything and I crashed. Pushed it too far. The first couple of days came on strong. Slept it off, made my plan for today and went for it. Today, I feel even better. After today's, I'm going to do more of the workout this evening. So some of it I'm spacing out.
Are you learning lessons along the way? I mean, it sounds like you are, from what you're saying. Basically, well, not to let those excuses get in your way, find a plan B, C, D, E.
Correct.
But I've also seen your video, and as a matter of fact, is there any way of quickly referring people to watch that video?
It's on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn. Look for David Blake, or on YouTube. My channel is David Blake Presents, and you could follow along day by day. Every day I'm loading the new video, and there is what happened with my setbacks, my successes, and a message in there for other people to be encouraged, to know that it's going to be hard, but there are payoffs. Taking that next step, taking baby steps to get to where you're going, and not be discouraged, to go after what you want and keep your eye on the prize. In my doing it, I'm learning even more. Yesterday while I was out, I saw some horses. Somebody local has show horses, and realized they were training their horse the same way I am. They're practicing dance steps. So they're going through the mechanics, the flow, until they get it precisely right every time. And I was
until it becomes second nature, I'm guessing, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
So for me, a lot of what happened is the everyday walking was erased from my brain. So I'm literally replanting it.
I watched the video and I was extremely inspired by it. To see someone who had the difficulties that you had and how you overcome it, and now to find out that, you know, you were in a disabled state for years. It's incredible. We sometimes, none of us realize how long it takes to recover from something like that. So I would invite anyone to go to his YouTube channel, David Blake Presents, and watch at least that first video. And if you don't get inspired, I don't know what we need to do with you guys. But I want to thank you, David, for being a guest today.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me on.
And again, I loved the video. Congratulations on jump-starting this, your goal and making it public like that. That is incredible. And anyway, I will see you all on Friday. And until then, I hope you have a great day. Bye, David.
You too. Take care.
Bye-bye.